really feel like I'm one of the only black YouTubers. Why? Because your boy genuinely runs on CPT, especially when it comes to getting you guys content of the newer things. We had some problems with our distributor, weren't able to get these structure decks on time, had to run across the town to try to get the structure decks for a reasonable price because all locals were trying to charge $15. Yeah, you guys got me all types of messed up. But here we are. I'm not only going to be giving you guys a Salamangreat deck profile, I'm going to be giving you guys a myriad of combos. This is going to be focused more on the combos and the things that you can do with Salamangreat, as well as some budget options for the players that can't afford Salamangreat. If you guys were to ask me, in order to be a competitive Salamangreat deck profile, or to be a competitive Salamangreat deck, you would need around $60 to $70, probably a little less than $100 just to be the most optimal with this deck. And obviously I'm going to be playing the high-end version, but I'm going to be giving you guys options along the way. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, they're going to destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Hold on, you guys can at least, I know y'all can't see it, but y'all can hear it. You know what I mean? I apologize for not getting you guys the camera. Part of the problems of being on CPT is not only do I have the ashiest hands of all time right now, it takes a lot of work to get that camera, but I also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. And also a mad shout out to our newest Patreon, John Avella. Welcome to the clan. Make sure you add yourself to that Discord, as well as message me or Jest, so we can get you to the top dog so you can take advantage of all your rewards. Without further ado, I present to you a competitive Salamangreat deck profile, but more importantly, we're going to give you guys budget options and the combo tutorials, because I think that's what a lot of videos are lacking. Okay guys, I took a little bit of a play as you go style approach, so there won't really be any stats for this. I do think, I'm like really conflicted because I do think that this deck is really good, but as far as saying that it's a tier 1 deck, it has some weaknesses that, like, off the bat, immediately, not before I even like started reading the cards, I was just looking at it and I was like, this deck seems really good, but there are some really obvious weaknesses that are already being played inside of the meta. One of them being Denko Seka. Denko Seka is just like really good against this deck. But if you guys want to see how to beat a Salamangreat deck, go ahead and like this video and let us know down below in the comment section. But starting off with the monsters, 3 copies of Salamangreat Gazelle. This is one of the most important Salamangreat monsters to the strategy. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard while you have this card in your hand, you can summon it to your side of the field. Also, when it's normal summon or special summon, you can send one Salamangreat card from your deck to the graveyard, and then, you know, basically you use that to recur it later in your combo sequence. Next is 3 copies of Salamangreat Spin Boy. I actually really like this guy. When this guy, if you control another Salamangreat monster, you can discard this card from your hand to give one of your monsters. It doesn't have to be a Salamangreat monster. 500 attack. And that's not really that great, but its other ability is that if you control a Salamangreat monster other than Salamangreat Spinny, you can special summon this card to your side of the field, and then basically it's banished when it leaves the field. Is it just me or does this look crooked? I hope it doesn't look too crooked, because I hope you guys are cool with that. The thing about this card is that you summon it to your side of the field, and then you use it for an Exceed material, so it can get detached and sent to the graveyard instead of banished. Next is 3 copies of Salamangreat Foxy. This is the pot of duality of the deck. Basically, what happens is when it is normal summoned, you can excavate the top 3 cards from your deck and then add 1 Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand. That's pretty important. And I think it's like in your hand, it has another effect. If this card is in your graveyard and the face-up spell or trap card is on the field, you can discard 1 Salamangreat card, special summon this card, then destroy 1 face-up spell or trap card on the field. You can only use 1 effect of Salamangreat Foxy once per turn and only once that turn. So it's pretty good at recurring itself. One thing that I wanted to notice or wanted to point out is that the really good Salamangreat monsters are all level 3, so we want to take advantage of our Salamangreat cards being a level 3, and I think I do a pretty decent job at that. 1 copy of Salamangreat Jaguar. I actually have a Patreon video where I like open the Salamangreat boxes and try to build a Salamangreat. It's really funny. It's insane, and literally, if you guys are a Patreon, go ahead and watch it. I think you'd really enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think about my Salamangreat structure deck budget deck profile. And I didn't include Salamangreat Jaguar. I started to read its first effect, and I was like, this card is trash. And what I did read was its second effect, and just to reiterate its second effect, it does You can target one Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, except for Jaguar. Shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card to where Salamangreat Link monster points to. Basically, it's an extender. And I just did not notice that because I read the first effect and I was like, boring. This card's bad. But it's actually a really good card. It's a one of, so it's pretty decent. And then one copy of Salamangreat Falco. This is a card that I think I read and I was like, this card's trash too. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat spell or trap card in your graveyard and set it to your field. So just really good. And then the other effect allows you to bounce a Salamangreat monster from your field to add it to your hand. That's it for the Salamangreat monsters. We play 3, 6, 9, 11 Salamangreat monsters. I wanted to play a Salamangreat Mole, and before like it gets off my head, just said that Salamangreat Raccoon was good. I didn't really see a reason why it was that good, but I'm just gonna say that, you know, the dude has been playing Salamangreat a little bit longer to me, a lot longer to me. He's been playing it since I think they came out in the OCG, and he kind of knows what he's saying. But I decided to go against it because I didn't think that damage was really important for this deck. It can OTK in so many ways. I don't think other decks can really OTK me that well because of so many hand traps and the, you know, just the protections that this deck plays. But I decided not to play it because I wanted to play Mole, and I didn't even have room on top of that for Raccoon. That's it for the solid monsters. For the support cards, 3 copies of Lady Debug. Now, when I said that this deck was about $60, you need Lady Debug. Like, there's no way around it. I'm sorry, budget players. Unfortunately, I think it's only like a $10 card. So 3 structure decks and 3 Lady Debugs, or 3 of the other structure deck if you guys just want to go that route, and you're good to go. This card, literally, when it's normal summon or spell summon, you can add a level 3 Cyburst monster from your deck to your hand. Fortunately, all of your Cyburst monsters are, you know, all your Salamangreat monsters, except for, I guess, 2 of them, are level 3. So it's literally a reinforcement of the army. It gains its effect when it's normal summon, when it's special summon, and it's only like $8 right now. You guys, if you ask me, you have to buy this card. It's just too good to play, and you want to play 3 of them because it just starts off with so many crazy combos. A card that I am playing is 2 copies of Psychic Wielder. This card is freaking insane. Basically, if you control a level 3 monster, you can summon it from your hand to your side of the field. It's also a tuner, and when you use it for a synchro summon, you can destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field with an attack less than that monster's attack. It's insane, but if you guys can't afford this, that's obvious. You know, it's not that bad. I guess you can run Terratop and Takensenborg. I wouldn't like that because, you know, opening the Takensenborg and not the Terratop sucks. You can run the other Psychic level 3 monster. I think it has just about the same effect of summoning it to your side of the field. I think you can get away with running Junk Forward. You can run Spell Striker, I know that's for sure, but you have to banish a spell card. There's quite a few ways around this card. He's not like the go-to card, but his second ability is really good, which is the reason why I decided to run him. And then I run 2 copies of Crusadia Reclusa. I don't understand why a lot of builds aren't playing this card. What it does is you can spell summon a card to where a Link monster points to, and if summoned that way, you can target a Crusadia card on your field and 1 card on your opponent's side of the field and destroy them. It's essentially a Scrap Dragon, but it works so well because it's a level 3 monster that you can just splash to your side of the field. And one of your biggest plays inside of this deck is to make Miragastalio. I probably will never say the Salamangreat card's name right, but you guys understand what I'm saying. The Exceed monster. Next is 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. If you guys haven't seen my video about the best hand traps of the format, I mean, Droll and Lockbird's right there for a reason. It's the best hand trap in the game. 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I decided to run the common versions in here. I don't know, it just felt cool to run the commons for this. Probably the only time you'll see me like deck profiling with common Ash Blossoms. But yeah, they come inside of the structure deck, just to put that out. It's the reason why the structure deck got jacked up at so many local level events, which I do think, I just don't, I think that's bad practice if you're trying to keep, you know, your locals happy. You obviously want them to buy product from you, and, you know, instead of going to Walmart, but just like doing stuff like that disincentivizes people to buy from you. So if you guys are a local store listening to that, I hope you guys do understand that if I were going to your locals and you had like a $15 structure deck that goes for 10 Target, I'd probably just buy the rest of my product from Target here on out, or Walmart, or whatever store sells it for, you know, MSRP, because that's what MSRP is for. 3 copies of Salamangreat. Like, I'm not hating on you, that's your hustle, but it's like, you know, I'd rather just go somewhere else. 3 copies of Salamangreat Circle. This card is a Forbidden Lance, And on top of that, and as a reinforcement of the army, you can add one Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand. That's one of the effects. And then target one Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with the same name. You're probably never going to use that effect. It's unaffected by monster effects that turn except its own. This is a quick play spell card, so if you open two, you can use one to search and then the other one to protect your link monster or to search again on your opponent's turn. And it is a hard once per turn. You can only use, or you can only activate. So it's not a hard once per turn. If they negate it, you can activate it again. But it is a once per turn. So that's it for that. 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Hand traps are in a really interesting spot, but I predict with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring being a common, a lot more people will have access to hand traps. So Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is definitely a card that you want to look out for. This deck is surprisingly weak to hand traps. I thought that it wouldn't be as weak as I predicted, but in its opening boards, if you start to hand trap it, it's really hard to overcome. 1 copy or 2 copies of Twin Twisters, just getting rid of back row, that's really good. Only 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary, card's insane. You only need 1 because Falco can recycle it. You can recycle it. It's a pretty good card. It allows you to turn your link monsters into another link monster without like actually using other materials. 1 copy of Will of the Salamangreats. This is pretty good. It allows you to spell summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or your graveyard. So I like that effect. I don't even know the second effect. I just know that it gets you a Salamangreat. You can send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard. Target one Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using that. That's why I don't know the effect. Spell summon one Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard defense position up to that monster's link rating. That's actually pretty good, but I just don't think it'll come up that much. 1 copy of Fusion Fire. This is for the OTK. And then Super Polymerization. Parts of me were tempted to run like, you know, cards like Mud Dragon of the Swamp and stuff like that, because Super Polymerization actually does work well with the deck. If you're going for like a huge push and want to OTK, Super Polymerization is there. Or if you just want to disrupt your opponent's board, because if they link summon, you can actually Super Poly it away with your monster. That's it for the spells. For the traps, 1 copy of Salamangreat War. Just actually convinced me to play 1 copy. And I think he's pretty correct. I wouldn't play more than 2 of this card. Two could be a correct choice. But basically what it does is it's an Infernity Barrier. When a spell or trap or effect monster is activated while you control the Salamangreat Link monster, you can negate the activation. And also it can set itself to the side of the field. So it's a pretty good card. I just wouldn't play more than 2 copies because it's a hard once per turn for both effects. Salamangreat Rage is what all of the rage is about. What this card does is send 1 Salamangreat monster from your hand or face up to your field to the graveyard to target 1 card on the field, destroy it. That's pretty good. The other effect is target 1 Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with its own material. Destroy cards your opponent controls up to that monster's link rating, which is pretty good. It can destroy up to 3 cards if you summon Heat Leo. And then last is 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. For the people that can't afford Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veilers are literally just like a poor man's Infinite Impermanence. Go ahead and play those. Or even Forbidden Chalice if you're scared of your opponent making those boards, and you know you need to chalice them to start pop off with yours. But that's it for the main deck and the spells and traps. I do run a 16 card extra deck. If you guys can get rid of it, you know, get away with it, I guess. But I'm going to be talking about, obviously, a 16th card that I really would play. I just can't decide what to cut. 2 copies of Heat Leo for the OTK, and it's also a pretty good card. Boral Sword Dragon, if you guys can't afford it, well, sweet, you just have a 15-card extra deck right here. Borolo Dragon is also a pretty good card. Nightmare Phoenix is good for destroying back row. I actually really do like Power Code Talker. It negates monster effects, which comes up in the Thunder Dragon matchup. You can negate a Colossus or Titan, and then, you know, pop off with your combos. Also, 2 copies of Salamangreat, the rank 3. This guy's really good, but I don't think he merited 3 copies of. 2 copies of Salamangreat Violent Chimera. I play 1 for the Fusion Fire and then the other for the Super Volley. People sleep on that it requires 1 Link monster, 1 Salamangreat monster, so you can use your opponent's Link monsters as fusion material to make this card, which could come up. 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf. This is another card that you're going to need, unfortunately. And I think they're like $5 each right now. So you might be spending towards the $100 limit for this deck. But it's still a really good deck. And the cards that you are buying, while they might not be applicable to other decks, they're still like really powerful for the deck. So you kind of need them. This card allows you to recur resources and allows you to recur Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It allows you to just get so much advantage and is the go-to card when you want to end your combo sequence. 3 copies of Balanix. Now, this is a card that I feel you can take out 1 copy of because the card that I'm going to show you is Spice. This is the reason why you only need 1 copy of your field spell. This is a Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Now, as you guys know, if you guys are playing Psychic Wielder, it's a tuner monster. You summon this in a another level 3, you can make Bryonic. And Bryonic can destroy a card on the field, but more importantly, it can get rid of your opponent's Thunder Dragon boards. It can get rid of a lot of boards, which is pretty good. Also, all of your spinnies are free because you can discard your spinny, and still get your spinny's effect in the graveyard to summon itself back to the side of the field. That is it for the monsters and the extra deck. Let me show you guys as many combos that I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I have a pretty fun one-card combo for you guys, and the reason why I say that this card is just so important to the combo Lady Debug or to the deck is because you can go through two options. It can be a recovery play, or it can be a one-card free link 4, depending on your combo sequence. Obviously, you don't want to go first and make that link 4 because there aren't any link 4s that are really good, and on top of that, saying that this particular build, I only play Boiled Sword Dragon. You could play Boiled Lord Dragon, which would be a way better monster to make on your opening turn. But this card does give you plenty of options as well as some really good recovery plays. So I'm going to show you two different variations with it. I'm also going to put a Salamangreat War into the graveyard just to show you how good the deck can be. So what you're going to do is normal summon your Lady Debug to your side of the field. It's kind of weird to be doing this without a field center, but I can't find Sombra. I think we're going through a little fight right now, and she's not going to show up for me. So you know what? She's going to be mad, but we're going to use this sleeve as a field center. So normal summon your Lady Debug and use its ability to grab your Salamangreat Gazelle from your deck to your hand. Then you're going to follow up in using the Lady Debug for a link summon into your Salamangreat Bali links. I hope I'm saying that card's name right, using its ability to add Salamangreat Sanctuary. Activate the Salamangreat Sanctuary and then use your Sanctuary to turn your Bali links into your next copy of Bali links, which will trigger the effect of your Salamangreat Gazelle. Special summon that bad boy to your side of the field, and then use Gazelle's effect to send Salamangreat Spinny from your deck to your graveyard. Now, since you control Salamangreat monsters, you can spell summon Spinny to your side of the field and use both of these monsters for a linked or an Exceed summon. And that's basically where the combo differs. You're going to detach one material from Miristalio to special summon a corresponding monster. Now, if you want to recur that card that's in your graveyard, so Salamangreat Roar, you special summon Salamangreat Falco to your side of the field, because then when you use that for your link summon into your Sunlight Wolf, you can use Falco's effect to get your Roar. And if you have any extenders to follow up with this, then you're in good hands. But let's say hypothetically, we just want to make that one card free link 4 monster. That's where Jaguar actually comes up. You special summon the Jaguar to your side of the field instead, and then use both of these monsters for your Salamangreat Wolf. Then Jaguar's effect is going to activate. You can return any of these cards back to your deck. I normally choose Bali links because if you're going to play 2, you know, that'd be kind of good. To special summon the Jaguar back to your side of the field and trigger your Sunlight Wolf, which will then allow you to add a monster from your graveyard to your hand, if I'm reading it correctly. If you can special summon, you can add one fire monster. Yes, you can add one fire monster from your graveyard to your hand. So I probably should have detached the Gazelle instead of the Spinny. And you're going to go ahead and add the Gazelle back into your hand. So one card essentially leads up to this, which then this can go into a link 4 if you so choose. Or of course, if you have, you know, those Salamangreat cards, you can set them to your side of the field and use them. Keep in mind, the link 4 monster that you do use won't be able to activate its effect. So it's kind of like a useless link 4 unless you're making, like, I don't know, Boiled Low Dragon to reduce your opponent's monster's attack, which again isn't great. So I would strongly advise against it unless obviously you're going into a certain situation where you just need the attack power or whatnot. But this is a pretty good one card combo. So the next combo is going to be pretty much your standard combo. The reason why you run triple Spinny, triple Gazelle is because you want to see those cards in your hand, and the opening hand for just having both of these cards is pretty freaking good. You're going to get a pretty decent sized board just with these two cards. What you're going to do is normal summon your Salamangreat Spinny and then use it for a link material to summon your Salamangreat Bali links. Now, since a Salamangreat monster left the field, you can chain the effect of your Salamangreat Gazelle to your Salamangreat Bali links, and then, you know, basically do the chain order thing, and then special summon your Gazelle to your side of the field, adding a Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand, and sending your Salamangreat Roar, or you can send your Salamangreat Rage from your deck to your graveyard, whichever is your preference. And now, since you control Salamangreat monsters, this is still in your hand, use Salamangreat Spinny to special summon itself to the side of the field. Now, keep in mind, I have both of these in the graveyard, not because you can send both. You can only send one, but I'm just having both because it's your option. Use both of these monsters for an Exceed summon, into your Salamangreat Horsey Boy, detaching the Gazelle to spell summon a Salamangreat monster from your deck to your side of the field. Now the monster you're going to want to spell summon is Salamangreat Jack Jaguar. Using both the Valor Links and the Jack Jaguar for a link summon, you're going to make your Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and then activate your Salamangreat Sanctuary. Now Sanctuary is going to send Sunlight Wolf to the graveyard, or it's going to allow you to link summon your Sunlight Wolf into another Sunlight Wolf, which I think is pretty important because our Jack Jaguar is going to return our Sunlight Wolf to the deck to special summon Jack Jaguar back to our side of the field. Now, I might have skipped something really important, mainly Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf's effect when it is used for a double link summon. You get to add a spell or trap card from your graveyard to your hand, so go ahead and add your Rage or your War. I'm going to go ahead and add Rage this time around. And then, obviously, we're going to gain the effect of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf to allow us to add a Salamangreat Gazelle from our graveyard to our hand. So our ending board, if you guys want to go into that link for, I mean, be my guest. I don't think it's, an amazing idea since you can't activate anything with fires, but our ending board can be something like this, which I think is really good. You're going to have the Gazelle to go around again for your really good combos. You're also going to have Salamangreat Rage for that destruction, and saying that you use Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf for Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, then yes, that Rage can destroy 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. It's just a really powerful board. I think that you could go a little bit further to make the Leo do whatever you want, but I think that this is a good ending point for a good board off of 2 cards. Now, another 2-card combo is gonna wind you with relatively the same board. What you're gonna need is Lady Debug and either Salamangreat Gazelle or Salamangreat Spinny in your hand, and it's gonna get you pretty much the exact same thing because Lady Debug is gonna search the other. So we're just gonna have Gazelle in our hand this time around. We're gonna normal summon our Lady Debug and use its ability to add Salamangreat Spinny from our deck to our graveyard, and then use our Lady Debug for a Link 1 summon into our Balance Links. Use the effect of your Balance Links to add from your deck to your hand. Where is that card? Add your Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand, and then use the effect of Spinny to increase one of your monsters' attack by 500. That can actually trigger the effect of your Salamangreat Gazelle, special summoning itself to its side of the field, using its ability to send one spell or trap from your deck to your graveyard. Now I'm going to go ahead and send Salamangreat's Roar to my graveyard because the combo sequence kind of doesn't matter. It's really up to you. You're going to use Salamangreat Spinny effect to spell summon Spinny to your side of the field, and then both of these monsters for a link summon into Salamangreat Horsey, who has, by the way, I don't know why I keep putting into defense. It actually has a really huge attack over its defense. I don't know why I thought his defense was like 2,000 and his attack was 900, but you want to put this guy in attack. Use the effect of Maris the Horsey to detach one material to special summon a Salamangreat monster from your deck to your side of the field, and you guys should already see how this deck operates. You want to summon Jack Jaguar to your side of the field. From there, your Balance Links and your Jack Jaguar are going to be used for a link summon into your Sunlight Wolf. Activate your Sanctuary, Sunlight Wolf into another Sunlight Wolf. Its effect is going to trigger, allowing you to add your trap card from your graveyard to your hand. And then you're going to go ahead and use your Jack Jaguar, returning your Sunlight Wolf to summon it to add from your deck to your hand Salamangreat Gazelle. So basically, any of the variation of those cards is going to end up with the exact same combo to your side of the field. And then from there, you can push and go for other combo sequences depending on what you have. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so if you haven't caught on by now, it seems like Gazelle plus Spinny, or basically Gazelle and any card variation, will end you with almost the exact same board. No more reason to continue going over that. Just one more thing I wanted to point out is that both Psychic Wielder and Reclusa are critical to the deck, if you ask me, mainly because not only are they extenders, but Wielder is actually a tuner, so making that Brionic the Dragon of the Ice Barrier is really important. There was also a thing that I wanted to summon Trish in my opponent. So there are times where you can put 3 level 3 monsters on your side of the field, and Psychic Wielder can become a Trish. And since the True King Agnazuma did come in the deck, I was like, sweet, I can probably make VFD after Agnazuma banish your opponent's monster. Trish, get rid of 3 cards from your opponent's hand deck, hand field and graveyard, and be in a really good spot. But unfortunately, that doesn't really it isn't as good as it sounds. But this 2-card OTK is gonna have to require to have your opponent a monster on their side of the field. I'm gonna give him some Prayer of the Dark, sure. I'm pretty sure that's more than enough to OTK your opponent. What you are going to do, or what you need, is Salamangreat Gazelle and Salamangreat Spinny. Basically, you start off your exact same combo sequence. The only thing that dictates your combo sequence is when you use your Salamangreat Sanctuary, which is a card that you guys might want to start bumping up after your opponent realizes that this is probably one of the most important cards in the deck, and if they get rid of this card before you can start popping off, then they're in a good spot. So go ahead and normal summon your Salamangreat Spinny. using it for a link summon into your Salamangreat Polylinks, and then triggering your Salamangreat Gazelle, special summoning itself to its side of the field, and then sending a card from your deck to your graveyard inside of Fusion Fire, since it is always a Salamangreat card. Use the effect of spinning to special summon itself to the side of the field, and then both of these monsters for an Exceed summon into your Salamangreat Horse Guy. I cannot say this card's name right. I'm just going to call it Horse Guy. Detach one material from the Horse Guy to special summon Salamangreat Jaguar to your side of the field, and then both the Polylinks and the Horse Guy for a link summon. Oh, what am I thinking? You're supposed to have the Salamangreat Sanctuary from the Polylinks. My apologies. But obviously you want to add this to your hand. Use both of those monsters for a link summon into Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Now, you're going to have to use the Jaguar and the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf for another link summon into a Salamangreat Wolf again, and then use the effect of your Salamangreat Wolf to add Fusion Fire. Use Jaguar to shuffle a monster to your deck to spell summon Jaguar to your side of the field, and then Sunlight Wolf's ability is going to pop off again, adding you a Gazelle. From there, you can use both of these monsters for a link summon into your Leo. This is why you play two, ladies and gentlemen. You summon that Heart Leo, activate your Salamangreat Sanctuary using the Heart Leo for another Heart Leo. And what this card does is if this card is link summon, you can target one card of your smallest trap card shuffle into the deck. Obviously, that effect is not important. Once per turn, if this card was using Heart Leo as a link material, you can target one face-up monster in your field and one monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first becomes equal to the attack of the target. So you summon this to your side of the field and you want to make it 1,000 attack. I'm going to go ahead and make it I'm going to make it 500 attack. That's actually going to be even better. I'm going to make it 500 attack, and then I am going to use my Fusion Fire, fusing both of these monsters into my Salamangreat Violet Chimera. Now, what Violet Chimera does is if this card is Fusion Summon, you can make this card attack gain attack equal to half of the combined original attack of the materials used to summon it. I used a 1,500 attack monster, and I used a 2,300 attack monster. Add those monsters together, that is 3,800. Then half it is 17. No, 17 plus 17 is 34. 18 plus 18 is 36. 19 plus 19 seems about right. It is 1,900 plus, so it is a pretty beefy guy. And then the next thing it says, once we battle during damage calculation, if this card battles a monster whose current attack is different from its original attack, you can double this card's attack, and that monster's attack becomes 0. So basically, this guy is over 4,000, and then he attacks into your opponent's monster and doubles his attack. Let me put that in the graveyard. And basically finishes off the game for you. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I apologize for being on Color People time, but hey, when you got to get those structure decks, it's really hard to get. And if you guys want to see a Salamangreat live duel, then go ahead and like this video up, show this video some love, and let me know down below in the comment section what I did wrong, because again, I had to learn all this information within the span of I don't know, I think it was like a couple hours. So I might have did some things wrong. Go ahead and let me know. I'll do a redo of the video if I did too many things wrong. And also, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the new regionals and ARGs taking place, and if Salamangreats will top, and what builds will be out there. Maybe we'll even change our own. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.